the Chief, back again for another review. Now, I know I've been away for a long while. It's been ages. I mean, I can't even remember the last review I did. It's definitely been a while. Basically, as I've said before, you know, life kind of takes over and you kind of lose yourself in other things. But I haven't lost that passion for collecting, and I've definitely been meaning to do a review in a while. And I thought, well, if I'm going to do a review, I might as well do a big one. So, as you can see above my head over there somewhere, this, of course, is not one but two Maximuses. You know, I really wish I had the third one, but I just cannot, you know, justify that amount of money for essentially what it, you know, for a few extra bits and pieces. But anyway, bit of a housekeeping first of all. What have I been doing? Well, anyone who follows me on Facebook or Twitter knows I did a charity event called Unity. I've been doing this is my second year of doing it. Lot of success compared to last year, but you know, it's very. I mean, it covers the board. Doesn't matter whether it's manga, Doctor Who, Star Wars, whatever it is. You know, it kind of caters for everyone's taste. You know, I was lucky enough to be joined by John Paul Beauvais, who obviously is the colorist for Regeneration Comics. You know, I had some other artists. Dealers, and a few of the actors from Star Wars come along. But yeah, basically it's a fun day and it's all for a good cause. Last year's was pretty much centered around Star Wars, but I did put my little transform display of Optimus Primes. I did, you know, anyone who sees my Facebook picture will know I've got a little display of Primes, and I pretty much put that on display. So that's, you know, that's my little input there, and I've definitely still been collecting. Not been doing a lot of YouTube stuff, as I said. Hopefully this will make up for it. So, thank you for my new subscribers. You know, it always seems the way. You know, whilst I'm doing videos, no one really subscribes or anything. But the moment I stop doing videos, I get subscribers, which is really, really bizarre. But thank you anyway, and hopefully I will keep doing these videos in the long run. Build up towards Christmas, of course, so my wife has promised me something really, really decent this year, Transformers related, which will be brilliant. You know, I'll be happy with that. But yeah, on with the show, as they say. Now, because of the damn size of these two figures, I had to relocate from where I would normally do my reviews, and I've basically had to use my pool table. Now obviously here you have Fortress Maximus and Robots in the Skies Brave Maximus. Two colours. I mean, these are really, really, you know, figures that I love, and you know, this is a second one I've purchased. I went off Transformers in 2001 and I sold my original Fortress Maximus, which I'm absolutely gutted about because mine was in absolute pristine condition. So eventually I have managed to save up and get a second one to replace it. And this is my Brave Maximus, which I bought well back in 2000, I think it was. Yeah, because I didn't see the point of having two of the same. And I thought, yeah, I'll just keep this one because it's nicer. You know, a lot of people do say the colour scheme on the Brave Maximus is superior to this one. I've got to say I agree, because this one is grey, it's blue, it's dull, there's nothing really much in terms of detailing compared to this one. I mean, I've got to keep running back and forth to change the camera angles because these are such big buggers. I cannot tell you, you know, exactly how big these fellas are, but they're huge. But just look at the detailing you've got on the city. You know, these little yellow points here, which you just don't get in the original one. If I move over here to Fortress Maximus, it's, you know, you got a little bit of the stickers which you add on yourself, but there's nothing in terms of detailing. But it's such an iconic figure. You know, it's Fortress Maximus. It's the holy grail for so many people. But what I'll do, I'll start off with Fortress Maximus first of all. You know, the original Generation 1. And one of the main differences you see straight away is you get the two big, huge fucking cannons there. You can't go wrong with these huge fucking cannons because they are big. You know, if I just take one there, in comparison to the size of my hand here, you know, these are big guns, which you don't get on the Brave Maximus figure itself. You also get, I was going to say Wallace and Gromit. I keep thinking Wallace and Gromit, Gasket and Comet, or whatever his name is. You know, you also get two little additional figures. You know, as with all kind of base-sized figures, you always get these little crappy, little shitty figures. I mean, I can't say any more than that because they are. I mean, they do the job in terms of transformation-wise. They're very basic. You know, they're just little fillers, and so you can buy some actual figures to go with it. Now, this is kind of my main kind of problem with this. Obviously, this is a base, and in size comparison, if I remove Spike from his little hideout in the back there, and that's another thing I'll get on to. Why is he facing backwards? I mean, this is obviously the back end, I would suppose, or it could be the front, I don't know. But, you know, he's sitting there facing this way, but all the guns, apart from these two, are facing that way. You know, your ramps and everything, so is this the back entrance and this is the front, or is it vice versa? I don't know. So that kind of makes a really daft place to put the cockpit, you know, unless it's swiveled around. I don't know. But hey, this is Spike. Completely went off camera there. But yeah, this is Spike. And, you know, compared to the size of the base, now what I mean, I'll show you. This is, if we get that back on camera, that's Spike. Now, in order to make this kind of work, world's smallest Transformers Optimus Prime right next to Spike. You know, if I remove Spike from the equation, yes, this would fit. You know, if I turn this back around, you know, you can imagine Optimus Prime in this kind of size base. You know, it kind of seems the perfect size. You know, in terms of, you know, posability, you know, put it on display, the world's smallest Transformers are absolutely perfect for it. But then you put Spike next to it, and you kind of think, well, Spike can't be that big. You know, he shouldn't be that big. But moving that aside, if we remove Spike from the equation, you know, if you have got the world's smallest figures, Fortress Maximus is an absolute pleasure to display these figures with, because it works so well, even though like they're 20 odd years apart from when that was designed to this. They fit perfectly, like bacon and brie, you know, brie in a sandwich. You know, they shouldn't work, but they do. So yeah, I mean, even if I transform Prime very quickly, into his real mode, you know, he just fits perfectly in terms of size and time. You know, it works, and that's what I love about having these together. You know, I used to display them with the MicroMasters because they worked, but you know, having these was, you know, brilliant, absolute brilliant idea. But Gaskets and Gromit. I'll move on to this one first because he's the most serious. Now, as I said, the Brave Maximus doesn't come with this, but it comes with the original Fortress Maximus, and very basic transformation, really, really basic. All you simply do is, well, talk about the figure first, idiot. Okay, I will. Right, I'm getting so excited about this. Sorry, this is my first review in ages, so I'm getting back into the swing of things. Do you like my hands and hand movements? Yeah, kind of like I'm a rave. I think I've drank too much Red Bull. But anyway, he rolls, which is kind of nice. He can't fit in kind of the side pieces itself because, well, the guns are in the way. Hi. a close-up shot of the figure itself there. You know, it is quite basic. You know, it rolls. I mean, it's only got 2 of the 6 wheels actually working, and oops, and popping off his arms there. And he's obviously got these 2 little cannons on the top there. Not really a lot to say about that figure itself there. And this figure is absolutely nothing. I mean, there's obviously stickers there of the tank treads. Oop, off camera. Of the tank tread itself. It kind of rolls. But there's not a lot to it. I mean, what they could have done is combine at least some of the guns to this figure. But they don't really seem to do that at all. So, anyway, we'll transform him. Really simple. Waist piece itself there just simply slides on. Remove the arms off. Like so. Plug into the sides. And there you have it. Not a bad figure. I mean, you expect to pick up this kind of guy in a pound shop. There's really not a lot to him. I mean, his arms kind of rotate. He does have a nice little face feature there, not coloured or anything. Can I get a close up of it? There you go. But overall, you know, as the display piece, is not bad at all. I mean, detailing wise, you have, as I said, got absolutely nothing at all. As I said, all you've got is classic zombie mode, as I like to call it, which is arms out, legs don't move, nothing at all. Very, very little playability on this figure, but you know, it's to be expected. Anyway, moving him aside, Fortress Maximus. Gimmicks wise, he has a little spinny thing. Radar dish there. Some of the guns turrets move itself there. I mean, you've got the helicopter pads, 2 big huge cannons on the side, as I said. Moving him around, you've got like a, I don't know, step for kind of like these kind of figures there that can walk up. That really, oh, he's moving out of the way. Moving to the rear, again he's got these 2 kind of cannons there. They don't move more than, I wouldn't even say 45 degrees, they probably go to a maximum about 43 degrees I'd say, you know, because they kind of hinge on top. Anything more they come off, so they can't even shoot straight. Not a lot to say about that there. On the side itself there, again more steps, and this actually opens a little prison. Holding cell kind of thing, so you know you could put little figures in there, and bizarre, bazing, bazung. Yeah, you've got a little storage compartment there to store your little evil Decepticons. Spinning this back around again, you kind of got these launch things on the side there. Really, really basic. Hold the figure against it and just slide them off. There's not a lot more to it than that. You know, as I said, a very basic launching system, and it's available on both sides, like so. Again, a bit tight this one, but yeah, you get the idea. What you've also got here, if I just again show to the back, you've got a little elevator, and it's kind of controlled right between his crotch, and you can just twist it around. And if I lift this up there on the side, you can just, I don't know if you can just make it prime out in there. Yeah, just about. He kind of sits in there, and you kind of rotate that, and he'll go up and down the elevator. And if I just do that again to bring him back to the top. What you've also got is a little button on the side here, and what that will do, if I push it, will launch prime out, well, any kind of like small figure. So back in the day, the only thing you could really have had in there was a minibar. So yeah, that's the kind of main thing you get. One thing I forgot to mention about this little guy as well, which I thought was really neat, he also comes with his own little gun. So that's a nice little touch. It's quite I mean, I like the detailing on that gun. It's actually quite surprising. It wasn't just a little crappy little pistol. But yeah, details are quite nice and it does the job. So a little bit extra on that one there. Now, from city mode, you've got battle station mode. One thing, before I forget, you've actually got Cerebros who acts as the computer, I suppose, which sits neatly in there, which you can actually remove out and have it just kind of closed off there as well. So yeah, that's all you can really say about the city mode. For what it was back in the day, having something this huge as a playset was absolutely amazing. And if you can get your hand, I mean, this is going to come out as an encore next year, and it's going to come with a Master Sword, which is absolutely brilliant because I never got that version. But it gives all the chance, give people the chance to have their Holy Grail without paying the stupid amount of money that they're asking for it now. I mean, I'm really gutted because when I got this about 3 weeks before they announced the Encore. If I just held on for 3 more weeks, I could have picked this up at a bargain because this now has plummeted in value. You can now pick this up for about 500 as opposed to the usual 700-800 that most people ask for. But anyway, moving on, transforming from city mode into battle station mode. So here we have Fortress Maximus in his battle station mode, and this guy is so armed to the teeth. Now the cockpit makes sense. It's kind of like shown in the cartoons and so forth, that it's a flying battle station. And in terms of the transformability, you kind of almost halfway to his robot mode. So, is it really battle station mode, or is it someone sitting down with a bit of pen and paper saying, ooh, if I kind of do this, he kind of almost like a battle station, which kind of makes it look like exactly what it is, But in saying that, it works. You can imagine a mobile battle station in this kind of mode. He's absolutely armed to the teeth. He's got the huge fucking cannons either side. That that scene where in Headmasters, whereby Scorponok's got the the Autobots pinned down, and suddenly Fortress Maximus arrives and he starts blasting the fuck out of everything. It's exactly what he does. It does what it says on the tin. He will completely fuck up your day. There's nothing more you can say about that. But yeah, there isn't a really huge amount you can say about it. Again, the colour scheme, very grey, very dull, very blue. If I just compare that now with Brave Maximus' mode, move that to the side, and here we have Brave Maximus in his kind of battle station mode, and it's really missing those two huge cannons. If I put those there, I mean, you can get I did actually get the repo ones where they were red instead of blue, and it kind of worked, but unfortunately I lost them, which I'm really gutted about. But it is missing those two huge cannons, but even so, I mean, it rolls really well. And it just looks so much nicer, even in this mode. The colour scheme, even though it's only just a few bits and pieces that it's kind of hard to describe, but I just prefer the colour scheme of the Brave Maximus, even though he doesn't have all the little extras in there. He is missing the two guns, he is missing gasket, he isn't as armed to the teeth, but he just, aesthetically looks nicer, I don't know what it is. I mean, it's these little yellow parts that you get in there, and it just kind of sets in there with the kind of dark purple against the blue, and even kind of the metal finish here. If I just show you on camera itself, even that kind of metal joint on there, compared to just the plain blue plastic, it just really sets the figure off. It's definitely, a collector's piece. And they both are, that, you know, I wouldn't say which is, you know, one is better than the other. I mean, they are both identical apart from the little extras, but in terms of the actual figure itself, you know, but it's just the colour schemes makes it that little bit, you know, more oomph. You know, I can't really put words to describe it, but yes, they are absolutely fantastic, both on either side. And of course, we'll now move on to the transformation of Fortress Maximus in his robot mode. So moving that aside, really simple. If I just remove the guns itself there, take Spike out the cockpit, close the guns itself, move them onto his feet. I mean, this guy is huge. I mean, he's almost off the camera already. Move that one back slightly. Make sure it's still in shot, like so. Oh, there you go. Split open the two towers. So they clip on this side. And again, he's got these huge fucking cannons on his hips. I mean, they are absolutely huge. I mean, why did the war rage on for so long? Just fucking send in Fortress Maximus and then fucking he can kill Galvatron, Unicron, whatever, you know. This guy's absolutely huge and these huge massive cannons. The unfortunate thing is the placement of that. You know, it basically makes it look like he's got a tiny little pecker. But anyhow, yes, flip this down again, arms down, to his side, and again, just lock that to place. You know, again on his arms and the back of his hands, you've got these little micro cannons, which, you know, in his size would be absolutely huge. Once again, and flip open his forearm. Again, he's got cannons either side. This guy's absolutely armed to the teeth. You know, I cannot tell you the firepower. And don't forget, he's still got his huge fucking cannons either side as well. You know, it's fucking huge. You know, there's a reason why this was a holy grail for so many people. And of course, the whole point, you know, the addition of him being a base former, a triple changer, he's also a headmaster. You know, if I open this guy up, Cerebros itself, I mean, that figure, which combines with Spike. I mean, I'll show you Spike itself. You know, he's pretty much just your basic kind of headmaster figure itself there. If I can get a good picture of him in this light. Oh, there, maybe. There you go. You know, the detail on this figure is absolutely brilliant. And bearing in mind, this was the 80s. You know, the kind of level of detail in this is fantastic. You know, it's kind of got his head and face backpack itself there. Classic zombie mode again. I mean, his arms come forward. You can kind of make him in a sitting position, like so. But other than that, not a lot you can do with him. So arms down, bend him at the waist, like so. And there you have Cerebros's head, which is brilliant. Look at the detail on that. It's fantastic. You know, not quite what you get on the G1 cartoons, but still, you know, he's a mini Fortress Maximus head. And if we attach him, you know, all the tech specs, that kind of still works. You know, everything's set at 10. You know, so if that's a 10, I hate to think what the hell that is. But again, he comes with his own little gun. And there you have him. Again, he's got his little backpack, which kind of hides the face of Fortress Maximus there. Again, posability-wise, you can kind of turn his arms 360. He has a little bit of, you know, a leeway on his wrist because of the transformation. Again, you kind of make him look like he's having a little wank there because of his transformability. Put his legs forward in a sitting position. Doesn't bend at the knees or anything, to be expected for a Generation 1 figure. But there you go, Cerebros in all his glory. Not a lot of stuff going on there because of the transformation wise. So yeah, he doesn't have an arse. Now, if we compare him to the little figure itself, of course, in the cartoon series, this was just a inanimate robot. You know, he didn't really think for himself or anything at all. You know, it wasn't Spike that we know in the G1 continuity. But fuck me, that is so much better. I mean, it's the same mold, but God, the colours work. You know, the black and the red. You know, it's still got the little silver face there, but it works. It's brilliant. You know, the little detailing. You know, the silver on black is just brilliant. I can't say any more. The whole thing is brilliant. Brilliant is my word of the day. Brilliant. This is brilliant, 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 brilliant. But yeah, in terms of the figure itself, the colour scheme just sets the whole thing off. Again, we transform him, flip the little thing there, and then again where we have a little Fortress Maximus head again. We attach that to the body of Cerebros there. And again, look at the colour scheme on that, as opposed to the original G1 version. You know, that was just a kind of like grey stripes and that was pretty much it. But they've actually bothered to make 3 different colours to kind of represent his tech spec there. And again, the figure, it just works on so many different levels. Even his gun is red, you know. Red, red, red. Black and red, it just works so well, doesn't it? You know, the little red fist again, yeah, you can put him into his masturbation mode there. If you really, really wanted to, if you're sick and perverted like me. But yes, there you go, masturbation mode. But again, classic zombie mode, arms out, you know, bends at the legs, and that's about it. I mean, you can kind of put him in a kicking pose if you really wanted to. But there you have it. Again, turn this around. You know, again, no arse there, but you know, side by side. What do you think? You know, I really think this figure, colour scheme wise, works much better than that. You know, you kind of got your, it is your kind of traditional G1 kind of colour scheme, I suppose, in that kind of boring, non-aesthetic way. But this figure just looks gorgeous. You know, it's dripping, absolutely dripping in loveliness. Yes, we use that word, loveliness. And of course, the ultimate thing for this figure, remove his gun. Forgot his gun. How can I forget his gun? Mini little cannon there. Your typical moulded G1 kind of weapon itself there, but still distinctive. Moving that the way. Transform him into his head mode. Again, flip his fists up. Pull them to the side itself there. These flip and lock into place like so. And then you flip up the head part, which locks into place, and there you have a huge head. So here's me giving the body some head. Fits that into place, and there you go. There you go, Fortress Maximus in all his glory itself there. I mean, you can actually remove that radar dish so it doesn't look so stupid, but yeah, and this is what I'm talking about, the unfortunate little mini P.E.K.K.A thing. But yeah, he's got these huge cannons either side of his hips there. The 2 huge massive rifles in his arms. He has got these kind of little cannons on his forearm. And he's got these little cannons on the back of his fists. And if he really wants to, on his bloody shins. He's got 2 more huge cannons there. And I mean, that does actually go round the back of his leg like so. But if you really wanted to, yeah, you can have a fucking huge cannon on the side of his leg as well. But what you would normally do, you just have that kind of pegged into place itself there. But yeah, feet-wise, you know, kind of weird, kind of hollow feet. I don't know. It's feet. It works. He stands up straight. You know, on his arms, you can do complete 360. Apart from, well, his guns gets in the way, but and then he kind of turns at the elbow. You can do a 360 on his wrist, which is kind of pretty neat. You know, unfortunately, he doesn't bend at the legs because of his transformation, but it is a figure from the 80s, 86, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, why do I keep saying yeah? I hate saying yeah. But anyway, of course, you've got a little cockpit there which can store bits and pieces in there. Obviously, that's where Cerebros goes when he's transformed in his brain mode. But yeah, this is the full mode itself there. And if I compare him to the world's smallest Optimus Prime, you know, you can imagine that's exactly what you would have. You know, G1 Prime, Fortress Maximus. You know, that's the kind of scale. I mean, in Fall of the Cybertron, that moment when Metroplex reveals himself, and you kind of get this true, you know, image of how Metroplex should be in terms of size comparison, and you've got that. I mean, the actual G1 Prime would probably go to about here, I'm guessing, just to his shin was. But that just looks so much more awesome, don't you think? And if we now compare him to his Brave Maximus counter, so here we have Brave Maximus side by side with Fortress Maximus there. And, you know, again, this guy's absolutely armed to the teeth. You know, he's got, again, his little fist cannons, forearm cannons, huge cannons. Remove that because it kind of looks daft. Again, he's got the little small pecker thing going on there. And shin cannons itself there. One little thing I did wrong, plugged in that way, so it kind of protrudes out, which kind of makes it a little bit daft. If I just show from the back end itself there. Which is kind of a shame, but you know, it's not a huge thing. You can put it down like I normally do. But yeah, I mean, the one thing I've noticed as well is that the G1 Fort Max head has sticker eyes, whereas the Brave Maximus eyes are actually painted on. And I mean, come on, the detail on that just works so much better. It just makes it pop. That's the word I'm looking for, pop. It makes it pop out compared to the original G1 Fortress Maximus, because it kind of just blends in. It's kind of this matte, boring grey, whereas the silver, just, you know, it kind of does look like emo kind of style thing going there with the, you know, mascara. I don't know what you call it. You know, kind of like eye shading kind of thing going on there. But still, it really does make it pop in the colour scheme. Just makes it stand out so much more than the G1 version. But the G1 version is so iconic. It's huge. It's beautiful. You know, it is for the size of what you've got, the playability of what you've got. You know, they are both simply must-have figures. And obviously, with the release of the Encore next year, you know, it's a possibility for so many people now to pick up the figure. I mean, it's still got a big of a hefty price tag on it. You know, I think you're looking at £300. For the figure, but again, you do get the Master Sword, which you don't get with these figures itself there. And of course, the one truly missing figure I'm missing now is the Grand Maximus, and that obviously comes with the Pretender shell for Cerebros, which again, can you really justify that much money for a Pretender shell? But then again, the colour scheme is nice as well. You know, I can't really complain about that. As I said, this is obviously my pool table. And yeah, this is the the two Maximuses. I really hope you've enjoyed this review. As I said, I haven't really been on a YouTube for a while, and of course this is my first review in a while, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for subscribing, thanks for watching. Please leave your comments and thoughts below.